Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our podcast, Chassis Shatter. Catching up on two Grand Prix, the Belgian and the Dutch.
Well, was there really two Grand Prix? Was there?
Not really, but technically, classification-wise, there was.
Well, I'm in the camp of this really shouldn't have been a race at all. It should have just been cancelled, and we should have handled it a bit better than the way it was with 2 laps. And there's your race.
Well, I do agree with you, but anyway.
Should we talk about qualifying? Instead?
Yeah, let's talk about Spa qualifying.
Well, I like Spa normally, and I was really excited to be raining. I thought, oh my god, this is amazing. Didn't expect it to rain that much, but I may have got my wish fulfilled a bit too much to the extreme.
Yeah, a little bit. I do love a good rain race, so I was quite excited. But then I was a bit like, are you kidding me?
I know, the shock. But that's the thing. I was expecting, I know qualifying, so we didn't really have big incidents until the Lando crash, did we?
No, we didn't.
That Lando's crash was actually quite bad, and it posed an issue because, so the whole same place where Antonio Joubert died, we're at the same place where in the Formula W there was a 5-car massive accident. I don't know if you saw the video of the Formula W crash.
I did, yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. So Radion and En Rouge are both. So this is becoming a bit problematic, but there isn't anything they can actually do to that corner. I understand that they can't do anything at all. They can't widen it. They can't do it without having to really cut down the forest and re-level. But it showed, like, Lando's crash was pretty much in time. So Vettel was screaming on the radio, wasn't he?
Oh, he was screaming before that, and he was not happy. As soon as he heard there's a crash, I think he's because he was a nice person, but also because he said previously on the radio, you should red flag this. This is not safe. And then for that to happen and no one to listen to you, I think he got quite upset and also was very worried at George. And I don't know whether people saw, but there was a video posted later of him literally going on the radio. Is he okay? Is he okay? Is he okay? I'm going to pull over. Is that right? I'm going to pull from each other. But he didn't have to. Different team. Well, not.
No, he was. I think he did right. And the thing, Seb's taking that role of the grandfather of the role now, even though it's not going to be. Even though Alonso and Raikkonen have been there longer, Seb is the one that's being the face of it. And I am actually quite impressed by the way Seb's handling a lot of it. And he's well and truly he is on top of his game for it. And it was right to pull over and check if Lando said he was the first car. It was like the stuff you used to see in the 70s and 80s when there's an accident. Drivers would run out and try and pull the other one out. And it was right. I did like the question of the FIA there was rumours that the FIA wanted to start an investigation into his car stopping on track for no reason. And it's just like, oh, this is just ridiculous.
I'm sorry, there wasn't any marshals on site at that point. If you see I don't think he was at a point where if you're the first one on the scene and there's no marshals, how are you going to know they're okay?
Yeah, no, you don't. And no, he was right. And it did pose a question of when do you call off? And I think but the problem is this Lando's crash and him going to hospital and having an elbow X-ray kind of posed the problems for the rest of the weekend. Like going on, like Perez on the way to the grid. Didn't even start. He's in the wall. Like it became a bit too much. And I think by that point I would have just called it off.
But Perez wasn't going fast.
No.
It was just raining too much and the car just slid. He had no grip. He just slid. You could just see it coming from a mile away.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think it's just there was now all anyone could do about it. Right. But I don't know. My view is, I think my view is opened up. I really don't. I'm glad I wasn't in to watch that race. I was out for some reason, and I was like, oh, I'm going to have to just miss Spa, and I'm a bit irritating. But I'm actually glad I wasn't there because I would have sat there for 4 hours, being very disappointed with what I'm seeing. And I liked most of it was just who were the Haas. It was Mick Schumacher and Vettel just playing football in the garage for the Haas team.
That was amusing. I think there was another sporting, so I think I did stop for a little bit.
Yeah, but my cricket has been my replacement this week.
Yeah, it was cricket. I think we went back. I think we just put it on the laptop and then we watched cricket on the main TV. And then when they gave an announcement, we were like, "Oh, put it back on."
Yeah. No, I wasn't. I don't know. I wasn't very happy with the way it was handled. Like 2 laps minimum.
Oh, they technically already had 2 laps at the start, but it was abandoned. I don't.
Yeah, but they didn't turn off the clock either, did they? They let the clock keep going. So they paused it eventually, but they let the clock run down until they realised, oh, we've only got an hour left. Because it's going to be, and I thought it was just going to be a sprint race in the end.
I was hoping,
but it didn't end up that way. So I don't know. But should we move on to a nicer Grand Prix weekend? There isn't much more we can really say on Spa. I don't know if you.
Oh no! Wait! We didn't talk about the actual quali.
Well, the actual quali for Spa.
Yeah, after George's incident, what happened?
What Lando's incident?
Yeah, what happened after that?
I don't know.
What was the surprise?
All right, you enlighten me.
Well, we had Bottas set fastest lap, then we had Hamilton set fastest lap, and someone who not really set fastest laps in a Enfield team set a fastest lap, and who was that?
Nicholas Latifi.
Okay, I think you're just winding me up today.
Yeah, I am.
Good on, George.
Yeah.
Superstar, absolutely amazing. Okay, I was sort of rooting for Max because I was in my shirt, but right, I was like, good on him. You know, that's a big achievement.
It was a very good lap. Yeah, no, it was a very good lap. I'll give it off to him. He's in the wet. It was like a car that shouldn't have been able to pull that performance out, and he does. It was shot. It was amazing to see. Yeah, he really did, and it's a bit of a shame. I'd say it's a shame for him to get his first podium in that way. In terms of he didn't actually get to race for it in the end.
No, but then it just put in the thing. You know, quali does some. Yeah. It does put that you got to have a good quali. It's not just a one day. You can't make them saying how important quali is. That just proved it.
Yeah, no, it did. It finally it made you realise, doesn't it, that sometimes you do actually have to try in qualifying. And
you reap the award. I don't know what the saying is anyway.
Yeah.
But where are Williams now in the championship? They're a lot higher than they ever would have been.
Oh yeah, they're above Haas and Alfa Romeo, aren't they now? The amount of points they've got, like they're no longer gonna. They won't be at the back. They'll be a top. There won't be the bottom team finally.
That's a huge achievement. Those points.
Yeah, well, they've had a lot of points finishes, haven't they? They had some in Hungary, didn't they?
Yeah, but that amount.
Yeah, a significant amount has now come out from. There's no way they're going to lose that spot. There's no way Haas and Alfa Romeo will be able to catch them back up again, which is good because I think Williams needed the extra funding. They need the extra cash, and it's good to have, especially after what happened this weekend. They need the extra cash.
They do. So we move on then to, because there was nothing else to it. There was just lots of memes and lots of sitting and waiting. All right, let's move on to the Dutch. Overall impressions of the Dutch. It doesn't have to be about the race. It could be the track, the atmosphere.
The atmosphere was just max. Like, come on. Like it was
I've never
in
seen
your
anything
face.
like it.
No, it was just in your face, wasn't it?
When we go other places, and there's a favourite, but this was every single seat pretty, like every single stand, everywhere on the track. It was huge amounts of orange and Max. There might have been some McLaren in there. We don't know.
That was McLaren co-opted it and said, it's us. They're our fans." It's like when it got to Max won, I did like Alonso's radio was just like, "I take it Max has won then." Like, but I don't know. I was expecting a bit more though from Zandvoort. It felt a bit too Monaco-ish for me. Too much procession. Not enough. There was no overtaking except for Perez.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
I mean, Perez did a lot of the overtaking.
Oh, he really worked for it. Yes, he did. But again, it's a shame that he has to work for it, isn't it? So this is the problem. So we can go into qualifying. He's out by land. He gets knocked out by 400th of a second and ends up 16th. But the problem is, it wasn't really his fault. Like the problem, so he ended up having to have a new power unit, and that dates back to a problem that Bottas smashing into him in previously. Was it Hungary that Bottas smashed into him?
Yeah, because they were taking the penalties at Spa.
Yeah.
So a lot of them served their penalties, but for what?
Yeah, I know. Right. Well, Bottas served his for Spa and then gets cancelled. But yeah, no, this one was he was out and he started from the pit lane. And I think we know he's good at it. It's just a shame that he has to do it.
Yeah, I mean, he got driver of the day and he deserved it.
Oh yeah, definitely. I did vote for Robert Kubica though, because I just wanted Kubica to he's returned to have driver of the day.
Maybe next week.
He did really well though.
No, he did. I was
like I was impressed. So, but I don't know while we're on topic of Alfa Romeo, Giovinazzi's qualifying was for someone who had brake problems at the beginning. That's why his car wasn't being sent. I think it was brake problems or a front wing issue. Why his car wouldn't be sent out, and he barely got it. Like, hats off to the man. He deserves the seat.
I'm with him on that. What else was a standout? The atmosphere was great. The pictures when they came round and they're on the banks was quite nice. But then again, I'm like,
yeah,
I'm a bit. It'd be really cool if they did some overtaking on the banks, but sometimes they just followed each other up to come back down. They didn't really use it.
Did you notice? We'll go into a bit more of the race. Did you notice the line that were taken in turn 3? So, when they first lap, you notice everyone went to the top of the corner bank, whereas the Ferraris tried diving down the inside for the line, and then Ocon tried to use that line. It's a line no one's taken, not even in practice. But the issue that come from that was then when Ocon tried to overtake Alonso, and Ocon nearly ended up going into him, taking that line, and they smashed each other out on lap 8.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they got really close, dangerously close. And it was just because Alonso had a better getting out from the corner, going to the top of taking the line at the top of the curve.
It's interesting.
But it was good lines. But yeah, they could have tried to overtake on those lines, but no one really did.
I just feel like sometimes we go, there's no overtaking, it's a track. Sometimes it's also the drivers.
Yes, but the problem is though, the track is so short. It got to the point where traffic becomes an issue. So they're overtaking traffic, but they're not overtaking.
That was a huge issue.
But you saw how far Verstappen, Bottas, and Hamilton were to Gasly, and how far then the Ferraris were back to Gasly. Like it was back to these races where Lando used to just do nothing and end up 4th. It was one of them races, just on your own, and that's why I didn't really pay any attention to Gasly at all for this.
I didn't. I'm sorry, guys. Great drive, but what for?
Yeah. There's no racing. It was just, I'll just pop it round for 72 laps.
No, it was just quite fascinating at the start of the race. When as soon as Max got ahead, he zoomed off and Hamilton couldn't stay with him.
He had no pace. Mercedes had no pace this weekend, though, did they? And they complained about that at the end. Talking about the pace, though, Bottas in his trying to stick it to Hamilton was so good.
I liked that. They were like, "Oh, we're not setting fastest lap," and then I think he maybe was trying a little bit.
He was.
But then he backed off at the end.
Yeah.
But he still set it.
Still got
and
it.
I saw that he was like, "Oh, I backed off," and he still got it. And and you could see that he backed off.
Yeah, he backed off in the mini sectors and then just still got it.
Not gonna lie, I liked that. That was a bit kick-ass. I really was like, yeah, go on. Because I bet he already knew. We all knew he was leaving.
Yeah. No, it's the worst kept secret. I was going to talk about them after we get through our predictions about some driver seats changes. But it was a kick in the teeth saying, you know what? Stick it to him.
And I feel really bad for him. They've never really... He's done so much for the team.
Yeah.
And they've done what for him?
Well, it's can't
even celebrate a win with him.
No, that's the thing. They wouldn't. This is the problem. They've got no interest because Toto is balancing a very fine line. He's balancing a champion who could beat Schumacher's record and a second seat which he doesn't want to challenge Hamilton, but needs someone who would deliver for the team. And the problem is, Hamilton would rather have Bottas and Russell. Russell wants a championship, so does Bottas, but at least Hamilton knows he'll be able to keep Bottas in a box. He doesn't know what he can do with Russell.
Well, I know Hamilton wanted to keep Bottas.
He would, because Bottas he's just helping him get another world championship.
I think that's going to be interesting next year because Russell.
Yeah. He gets frustrated easy.
I still don't think it's a good choice for him to go. But I see where he's coming from. If you want to be the best, you need to beat the best. Yeah. I get that.
Toto wants him in now because it stops the Ocon issue in 23, 24. Because by then George is cemented into the team and he is the future. Like George is now the future of Mercedes. That's it. Full stop.
Yeah.
So, I'm trying to think. Do we know anything? Is there anything else to guide about the Dutch race? I'm trying to think. The Ferraris had a bit of pace, didn't they? And they just kept to themselves.
Not a lot.
No.
Gasly, what a drive, but very impressive.
Yeah. And the Alpines, hats off to them. The Alpines did a really good job this weekend, but I was so happy to see Alonso 6. It was great.
But also, Perez did a really good job. We can't forget that.
No, Perez's climb through the field.
And he basically overtook pretty much everyone. He may have got some on the pits, but he had to work for every single place he got. Yeah, no,
he did it well. He
probably did more, maybe 3 times the many overtakes as people did. Max did 1 overtake.
Yes, yeah, it was.
And Hamilton
got Bottas.
Yeah, Bottas, so that's 1.
That was more like team orders. Get out of the way.
But other people,
Yeah.
I also liked how I don't think they meant to, but when Perez came out the pits and sort of let Max go and sort of kept him to try and keep him behind a little bit long. I like that.
F1 teams don't do that, though, do they? They're gentlemanly.
No, they don't.
They wouldn't dare. They wouldn't dare.
I don't think it was planned. It was just because Max's took longer.
Yeah, well, that was the concern because they're now having to get used to not doing less than sub 2 second pit stops now.
Which I don't agree with.
2.1, no matter what. So 2.1 is the quickest, or 2, but most will be 2.1.
This is what I don't get. Like the teams, like Red Bull, Williams, what's the one? Aston Martin. Who do sub 2, they're now absolutely screwed because they're doing slower, which means
they're losing part of the strategy. That's the problem.
It's for you to You either win or you lose in pit stops.
Yeah, it's taken away an edge.
What I don't. But what taking away all that stuff? I just don't get it. What's it benefiting? Why is it there? Is it safety? What safety is it?
Yeah, they're complaining they've had enough of tyres and things like that, and problems with cars having to pull over the track. But that was a problem early in the season, but it wasn't a problem previously. I noticed it a few bit more times this season, but never anything that was tedious.
I remember one year they all stopped at the side of the track ages. There were so many unsafe releases.
Yeah, I know, and I don't see it makes me very angry that we got to that point that we're dumbing it down for no reason.
I just don't agree with that. I'm still annoyed with that because
we're going to be complaining about it every week. That's what we're going to. We will moan about this all the time.
Oh, I will do. I'm not happy with pit stops. Yeah, really, that was a Dutch Grand Prix in a nutshell.
Yeah, there was not much else to it, was there?
Absolutely no. Should we go into our predictions and points?
Yes, I'm happy to.
Predictions for Spa. I put Verstappen for pole. You put
Hamilton.
So I got a point.
Yeah.
And then we both got a point for our top 5 drivers, which was Max.
Yeah.
One.
Our guesses of Hamilton, Perez, and then you did Norris, Sainz. I did Bottas, Norris. Just didn't really work out.
No. And then we would have thought George. And then anyway.
Yeah, George would have been. That was such an outlier. If you got that, I would have given you 10 points.
Yeah. Okay, Dutch. I put Max as my bonus pole. What did you put, George?
I forgot to put it into you before qualifying. So it would be unfair for me to make any judgment based on the fact that I knew the qualifying results.
Nil point. However, you do sort of make up for it.
Yeah, I did Verstappen, Hamilton, Bottas, didn't I? I got the traditional podium that we used to.
I was close. Okay, I put Gasly.
You were close. You only had to put them the other way around, and you would have been equal with me in points.
And then if any of you put Leclerc 5th and not.
Yeah, if I thought Gasly in between, I would have been very different.
Yep. So I won 24 points. George is on 25.
My 10-point lead is gone.
Yep. I'm catching you up. I said I would.
I'm well and truly throwing it all away.
Yeah. So next week, what have we got for you? What have you got?
Well, because we've got sprint race, we've got qualifying first for Speed King. I've gone for Hamilton and you went for Verstappen.
As always.
Then for our sprint race, because we don't like choosing the top 3 and things like that, we've tried outliers that have to feature in the top 10 or top 5. Sorry, so
top 8.
Top 8. I'm getting there in the end. Let me pick every number and we'll be there. Because I'm well and truly behind the Kubica train. I'm hoping. I know it may not happen, but I'm hoping Robert Kubica can maybe get his Alfa Romeo in a top 8 spot, maybe.
I've gone for good old Sunday reliable, Sunday best, not Sunday,
Mr. Saturday.
Mr. Saturday. I've gone for George Russell.
Which is possible. You could do it.
Yeah, I wanted the points.
Yeah, I went from the heart and you just went for the points.
Yeah. So what's your top 5 for the actual race?
The top 5 of the race is Verstappen, Hamilton, Leclerc, Bottas and Sainz. I think the Ferrari's going to have to do well here, or it's a bit embarrassing if they don't, because the Tifosi will go absolutely ballistic.
I have gone Verstappen, Hamilton. I've gone Perez. I feel like he's had quite a lot of not many races he's going to do well at. So I feel like he always has some okay ones and he has a really good one. So I feel like this could be it.
Mm-hmm.
And I put Bottas and then I put Gasly. Because he had a good one last year where he won it.
Yeah.
He likes this track and he had a good week last week, so he is on a high.
He could do it. He may be able to do it. I think you're being ambitious with Perez. I think Perez But we'll see. We'll see. We'll see tomorrow what it's like in practice, in qualify, won't we? Because practice.
It's not tomorrow. Oh yeah, we will.
It
It's
is.
tomorrow.
Qualifying's tomorrow.
Oh God.
You're losing
What
it
time
now.
is it?
I don't know. I'm assuming it'll be 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock.
I'm at work. So George,
life.
be all over that, hopefully.
Yes, I'll try my best. I should be in, as far as I'm aware.
He'll do all the socials. Good luck to you guys watching.
Yeah, no, I'm so sorry.
I can apologise in advance.
Yeah.
So final thoughts. What are your final thoughts?
Well, I was just going to talk about some of the silly season that took place this week. With Raikkonen going, Bottas moving, knowing that on Sunday it was moving, and then having that then opened the door for George to Mercedes. Then that caused the issues of both Helmut Marko and Toto Wolff arguing over which driver goes to Williams and who wants their driver to go. So Albon's now been announced he's going to Williams, but Nick de Vries, who is the Mercedes driver, is going to stay as, at the moment, looks like reserve driver. But it just opens up a lot of possibilities that now that we've got one seat remaining on the grid that we definitely know is remaining, because we don't know, haven't got no words about Giovinazzi's contract. But that also got issues at Haas, so there may be seats at Haas available, which we're kicking off. But silly season has just pretty much taken place all this week.
Yeah, well, there was a whole issue with Alex Albon. They didn't want Red Bull ties, so we still don't know if he or not. Because previously they've done Sainz where when he was loaned to, where was he loaned? Renault, was it?
Renault, yeah.
Yeah, he was driving under Red Bull, but Renault, so he still had all the Red Bull support and stuff.
Yeah.
He was loaned, so it might have been a loan. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was a slight. I think it was a slight change to it. But I think he's not going. I think he's in a bit of a weird state right now, anyhow, for it all. So I can't imagine it would. I think it's the problem though. I'd like to think he's kept his Red Bull ties because I think it'd be very useful for him, but it depends how much sway Toto really has over the team as a former team principal, as a former shareholder, and the engine supplier. It depends. We won't know unless they come out and formally say something. But
well, I think we will see on his race suit.
Well, no, he's going to bring his AlphaTauri brand, isn't he, to it? I think that's what he's bringing. So his race suit will keep, because he's got. It depends whether or not they'll allow the AlphaTauri branding onto it. Yeah, right.
No, because that's the suit. Yeah, AlphaTauri or Red Bull. Usually, it'll be a bit of both.
Yes, well, so the part of the sponsorship, I'm assuming he's going to bring his DTM brand, which he has, which is an AlphaTauri line, but for his DTM racing that he's doing. So I think you may try and bring that sponsor with him, but that does mean then AlphaTauri are sponsoring Williams, which is a bit weird. So it depends. So in this way, everyone was joking in his announcement. He was wearing an AlphaTauri t-shirt to a Williams press conference. But it's because it's his brand that falls under the AlphaTauri clothing line, which is owned by Red Bull, but also then AlphaTauri also then have a title sponsor to the name of the AlphaTauri team.
Yeah, it's really confusing.
Sorry, I went over the rails for you with that.
That's quite confusing. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens with that.
Yeah, I think it's pretty reasonable for it all, really. Hopefully it'll be reasonable. It'd be nice to see that Alex back on the grid, and I think he's gonna. I think he may have the same now teaching that Russell had, which was you're gonna get stuck at this team to learn the ropes of frustrations to then move elsewhere. I think that's how it's going to be treated. He's going to give him the Russell treatment of education. which what got from Toto.
Have long at AlphaTauri, or when it was whatever it was. He didn't have long, and then he was thrusted upon a Red Bull seat,
Yeah,
which technically shouldn't have been his.
it was they had no other option at the time. They thought they had no other option, and it's just fallen apart.
He didn't have time to learn anything.
No. So I think that's why. I think Williams is probably the best place for him to go. And you never know, Williams may be a midfield team next year with the new regulation changes.
I mean, I hope so.
It would be really funny. Williams midfield and George is struggling, and Mercedes haven't got a very good 2022 car.
I mean, that would be hilarious. I'm not being funny. I would seriously laugh at that.
It would just be unbelievable, wouldn't it? So.
Any other things you want to talk about?
No, I think
before we wrap up and go.
No, I think we've pretty much covered it all, really. Actually, I think we kind of just gone over the 1.5 Grand Prix, I'd argue, and a bit of silly season. Like we'll have to see how this all unfolds. It'll be interesting to see, especially I'm looking forward to Monza this weekend. So.
Well, I will be probably missing the speed one, but I will be catching up on highlights.
Yes.
And I'm definitely in for the sprint race and the normal race. So I'll see you guys probably online. But I just realised this will be after. So
we hope you've enjoyed our commentary.
Yeah, we hope you enjoyed it. I'm so sorry. I really apologise. And we'll see you next time.
Thank you. See you soon.